This is breaking news from CBS 13.
And that breaking news at noon, a mistrial has been declared in the trial of Carlos Dominguez. That is the former UC Davis student accused of stabbing 3 people, killing 2 of them.
As to the remaining counts, at this time, the court declares a mistrial.
Verdict came down this morning, not guilty on first-degree murder. The jury was unanimous on that charge. Then for second-degree murder, there was a 10-2 split with 10 in favor of not guilty. The former UC Davis student, Carlos Dominguez, again accused of stabbing 3 people in the spring of 2023, killing David Breaux and Kareem Abu Najim, and trying to kill Kimberly Gilroy. Now, the defense says he was suffering from schizophrenia at the time of the attacks. The prosecution says his actions were premeditated regardless of his mental state. Dominguez still faces charges that include second-degree murder, attempted murder, and involuntary manslaughter. Notably, Dominguez testified on the stand in his own defense trial during all of this. He said that he saw shadowy figures instead of the stabbing victims, which scared him, and he felt compelled to stab multiple times. All right, so for more on this, let's go to your reporter in Yeovil County, Ashley Sharp, joining us from the courthouse. Ashley, you were there for all this. What happens now?
Well, Dom, like you said, the first thing really we heard from the court today when we were in the courtroom was that a verdict had been reached on that first-degree murder charge of not guilty. But then quickly after, we learned there was that hung jury on the second-degree murder charge, which of course is what led to the judge declaring a mistrial in this case. What he did was brought all of the jurors back into the courtroom. They explained their verdict on the first-degree murder charge, and then they explained why they were deadlocked on the second-degree murder. He asked every single one of them, do you need more time? They all had to answer. Everybody said no. Basically, the purpose there was, if the judge were to send them back into deliberations, was there anything else that they needed that could have brought them to a unanimous decision on the second-degree murder charge? And again, like you said, Dom, 10 people were in favor of not guilty on second-degree murder. 2 of the jurors were in favor of guilty. Today in the courtroom, things wrapped up pretty quickly after that. These jurors were dismissed. They were in this courtroom for 5 weeks for trial and then for another 3 weeks now of deliberations. They have now been cleared to go. None of the jurors, we tried to speak with them after to kind of talk through their deliberations. You know, now that they're clear to talk about this case, the jurors came to a unanimous decision that they did not want to speak to the media. Both of the victims, Kareem Abu Najim and David Breaux, who were killed, their families were in the courtroom, and we were able to speak with them today after.
Quite honestly, I'm not tied to any outcome right now. I'm seeing how the process plays out, and holding my brother's mission was compassion. He was known as the compassion guy in Davis and around the United States. He did a compassion tour for a year where he visited compassionate cities to give talks and to ask the question, what is compassion? And so that's the most important thing to me right now. I'm holding him in my heart and I'm remembering his mission.
That was the first victim, David Breaux's sister, Maria. We also talked to Kareem Abu Najim's parents. He was the UC Davis student that was stabbed second. His family told us that this was a crushing blow and that they are devastated to think of starting this all over again in a new trial. Again, the jurors, just about 15 minutes ago, I would say, broke. They were kind of allowed to go into a gathering room. They didn't have to, but they had a debrief with the attorneys, the prosecution and the defense, and they all, just within the past 15 minutes, Dom, left, again, without giving any comment to the media.
So, Ashley, you mentioned one verdict here was reached. That was the verdict of not guilty on first-degree murder. Can Dominguez be tried again on that charge?
He cannot. So even though this was a mistrial, a verdict is a verdict. So the jury reaching that verdict of not guilty on first-degree murder will stand. He cannot be retried again on first-degree murder. So if this does result in a new trial, which it's looking to be setting up that way, he can only, the highest thing he could be charged with is that second-degree murder charge, which again is what was hung for the jury 10-2.
I appreciate you clarifying this because a number of things happened in court today. I know it's early. How is this going to move forward? Do we expect a retrial right now?
You know, I've asked multiple attorneys that question who were not affiliated with this case, and they said they were split. You know, one attorney I talked to said, without a doubt, 100% this is going to go for a retrial on that second-degree murder charge. And another that I spoke with said it would be very likely if the prosecution entered plea negotiations now with the defense, because, I mean, like I said, this was a 5-week trial, so much evidence, so much testimony. We're talking about a new jury now. We would essentially be completely starting from scratch, Dom. And so really it could go either way. But what we learned in court today was that July 24th, we're going to reconvene for a trial setting conference, which is completely starting over. And, you know, we could learn at that time that, I mean, there's, of course, always the option to dismiss the charges, which isn't likely, but, you know, we could learn, has a plea been negotiated? Do they want to completely retry the case? And we'll have to go from there.
All right. Ashley Sharp reporting live. Ashley, great job today. We appreciate your insight into what happened today in court. And of course, we're going to have more coverage on this breaking story at 4:30 right here on CBS 13, online, on our website, cbs13.com, and of course, always streaming on CBS News Sacramento.